14th of March. On today's date, exactly 9 years ago, I started my journey in the gym. Oh man, what a journey it has been. Been through a lot during these years in the gym, gained new experiences, positive and negative, learned from my mistakes, learned from other athletes, and along the way, learned a lot just from myself. In today's episode, I just want to sit down and talk about what this journey has been like and a couple of things that I have learned during these past few years. I want to start off by addressing the beginning phase of both my and maybe some of your journeys as well, if you're recently starting out. It's not easy in the beginning. Just like anything else you're new at, you're put in an unfamiliar environment, a new setting without very vague expectation in most cases. This is also why I think it's important to choose the right crowd in the beginning. You want someone to work out with, to help you, to assist you and guide you throughout the process. Of course, you want someone you enjoy working out with and someone who can push you at the same time. They really guide you in the right direction. This is often easier said than done. In many cases, you take on this journey by yourself and maybe put your starting trust in the, let's say, first best YouTuber or influencer you find. This could absolutely be beneficial too, but also in most cases not so much, because a lot of influencers out there advertise their brand for the wrong reasons without putting in some accurate and really informative, usable content. This is my first thing I've learned since starting out. Yes, I've been doing this for 9 years now, but I wouldn't call it 9 active or effective years. A lot from these years includes times when I only ego lifted, performed my training with really poor technique, or really just had my on and off periods in the gym due to lack of guidance and just putting my attention to the wrong educational crowd. Even though I got introduced to this life by a dear friend of mine, which really helped me in the beginning and really made me go through insane progress in the beginning, I still had points in my training where it really wasn't effective at all. But then again, this is kinda the standard for going to the gym in your teenage years. You just wanna lift as heavy as possible and live that gym bro life. You know what I'm saying? Don't really care about the functionality or execution of, let's say, special compound lift in a specific sense. Now, when I really got older and found that next gear in my training, I really realized how bad and stupid it was back then. But a lot of that time was also about just having fun, guys. It really was. I mean, what 15-year-old in the gym thinks about doing deficits for the sake of that golden range of motion, or something like high rep squats to focus on your endurance that is lacking behind your strength? Back then you just want to lift without really taking these factors into consideration. You just want to go to the gym, nothing else. Some other things that I did learn and is still learning is that you need to give it time and learn to appreciate every aspect of the process. With this, I mean, try new things. You maybe learn something new, and even a new training route that you never knew was the right thing for you. This is also where the balance that I mentioned earlier comes in. Learn to embrace all of it. The practice of strength, endurance, hypertrophy, even cardio, and even more specific programming or exercise selections like specialization training, doing different kinds of variation, deficits, pause reps, tempo. I can go on. But you catch my drift. Explore all of it. Even if you maybe don't like it, you don't know that before you tried it. I was always set on doing the bodybuilding in my earlier years, but guess what? I fell in love with strength training, and even today I'm doing a little more endurance-based workouts. That really was one of my most hated aspects to my training back in the days. This was because I lacked the right mindset, didn't do these kinds of workouts because it was hard. It was exhausting and boring, but guess what? I really learned to dive into these difficult tasks of my training to improve. To quote the great quad father Tom Platz himself, if it's easy, leave it to somebody else. Also, while I'm on the subject of mindset, I want to address this because it's really important. And also because one of my good friends talked about this on his stream the other day. Shout out to Simp Monstrous on Instagram and YouTube if you want to check him out. He talked about changing your attitude to become better at something. And quite frankly, I'm getting these a lot as well. Like someone saying, I hate bench, I can only bench 50-60 kg or similar to that phrase. And all I want to say is, listen, you just answered your own question, buddy. You're telling me you hate it and it sucks? Cut the attitude. You can't progress in something that you hate doing. I talked about this earlier too. Don't come to the gym if you feel like you have to, or if it feels like a chore. Do it because you enjoy it. Change the attitude and learn to really love it, and I'll guarantee you'll see those plates go up. This is what I did with squats. Yeah. Always hated squats so much, guys. And it's only up to quite recently I actually got almost obsessed and started loving them because I realized I had to change my attitude to them. They're still one of my weakest lifts, but it's also one of my favorites to this day because of just this. I learned to really love them. But because this is something that I realized quite late in my career, they haven't had the time to really explode in my SBD total just yet. But if I keep building and practice them as I do at the moment, I have no doubt that they will become one of my strongest lifts in the future. No doubt. You'll just have to give it time. Now, I can go on with these kind of lessons all day, but because you maybe don't want to listen to me the whole day, I thought I would finish up this video with one last tip or area of something that I learned. The food. It's quite common to know that the food, the nutrition, is just as big part of the progression in the gym as the gym itself is. But don't overdo it. Don't overdo it, guys. I know a lot of you want to go nuts and really dedicate yourself to a diet. I'm not saying you shouldn't. That's great, actually. But know your place and limits. I was on the verge of the rabbit hole for this. The thing that I'm talking about is eating disorders. I counted calories, macros, every teeny tiny detail to my nutrition in my everyday life. And it really affected my factors outside the gym. I mean, yeah, I lost 55 pounds in about 7-8 months, which was amazing at the time, but it's not worth it because, as I said, really affected my social life and general my everyday life factors. You can still achieve great results by approximately counting calories and having the high protein intake idea in the back of your head without it affecting your everyday life. Eat your cheat meals. I actually would say it's healthy to include cheat meals every week. I mean, just to keep your sanity and overall health. I mean, just live your life. And like I said, if you want to prioritize something, choose the protein. So it's this. It's good and healthy to think about what you're eating and drinking and whatnot, but remember, all in moderation. There's a lot more of these things that I didn't get to include in today's video. Let me know if you want to hear more about these kinds of videos. Otherwise, make sure to hit that like button. And until next time, have a good week and I'll catch you on the next one.